Fight and Talk back again, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Paul Craig ahead of his bout against Nikita Krylov on the stacked UFC London card that goes down March 19th at the O2 Arena. Paul, we're a few weeks out now. How are you feeling going into this one?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. You know, no better place to come in Scotland or in the UK for heavyweight sparring is down in the bright skies of Seaham.
Yeah, see, down here today, of course, sparring with KSW World Champion Phil DeFries, Mick Parkin as well, massive prospect.
Yep.
What is it that draws you to coming down here to sparring with the likes of these two?
You've got big bodies, but the quality's there. Very high quality striking, high quality grappling, and for Phil, you don't become a world champion for no reason at all. And as you're saying, Mickey Parkin is the next up and coming guy. I can't wait to see him in the UFC or wherever the world takes him.
If we look at the UFC now, of course, we're only a few weeks away from this London card. Nikita Krylov, you must be delighted. Eventually, it's a top 10 fighter.
Yep, you know, I've been pushing for this, trying to get in that top 10 for I started the UFC. For a long time, I'd seen myself as this guy who stays outside the top 15 and was making sure guys were able to... I was the gatekeeper, that's what I explained myself as. But now I see myself as a legitimate threat to that top 5, becoming a champion. That's what I'm looking for, and Krylov's the step that I need. He's the guy that's either going to propel me into being the top 10 or he's going to stop me. And the way my training's going now and the way mentally I'm prepared for this, I can't see it going any other way than the victory for me.
If we look at your form now as well, recently, undefeated in 5, 3 first round stoppages, 4 great wins. What for you has sort of brought this sort of purple patch on? You
know, the way I describe it is it's like, it's a crazy analogy. It's like a pot of soup. Everybody's ma, gran, auntie makes a pot of soup. It's the same pot of soup, it's the same pot of vegetable soup. Change the little ingredients and make it slightly better, change it to taste the flavour, add more salt. Loads of ways you can make soup better, and that's the way I see my fight camps. Every single fight camp I come in, I'll try something different and I'll see if it improves, and if it doesn't improve, then I don't need that in the soup. If it improves, then yep, we've got this into the soup. And what happened was stuff like improving conditioning, improving strength, working with sports psychologists, improving sparring, improving my knowledge within the sport. All this kind of stuff has made me a much better rounder fighter. I've said this before, I've actually learned my craft in the UFC, so I was very green when I came to the UFC, very inexperienced, needed a wee bit of time, probably should have done the national scene, the European scene a wee bit longer, but ultimately when the UFC come knocking, you take it, and I've learned my craft there, and I'm happy where I'm at the moment. And as you're saying, 5 unbeaten, I'm feeling good. It's a good place to be in the UFC.
I mean, it's first time as well, and the third time only since you signed with the UFC. You're back on home soil.
Yep.
How excited are you to be there? I'm sure you're bringing down a boatload from Scotland.
Yep, the Scottish are going to come in their numbers. You know, like McGregor says, when one of us go to war, we all go to war. It's pretty much the same for the Scottish. So they're all looking forward to it. But I'm looking forward to it because the last time I fought there, it was a great victory for me. It was a last-minute submission or the last-second submission. You know, propelled my career into that next level. Became more of a well-rounded name in the UFC at this point. And then I was meant to fight Ryan Spann before the lockdown happened. That fight was cancelled in London. So it's been 4 years since I've fought in home soil. And through that time, we've had stuff like COVID hit. I've fought in Abu Dhabi. I've travelled all over the world. And now it's good to kind of come back to home turf and see the fans. And that's what I'm looking forward to. This sold out so quickly because it shows how much MMA, UFC is developed within the UK. So I'm excited to see the noise.
I mean, the rest of the card as well. How good is that card, and just how much is it showing the rest of the world how good British and Irish MMA is?
Yep. So the last time we were in London, we had to have a Brazilian headline in it with a Russian. That was the headline.
Yeah.
So this is now we've got a headliner who's a UK guy who's going to potentially be the next champion, and the card is stacked from top to bottom with UK talent, some high-level Europeans. So I'm excited to see, and it just shows you we don't need Americans, we don't need European fighters to stack our UFC cards. We've got the talent in the home right now, and it'd be, imagine we had Leon Edwards there. I know he's fighting for the title, but amazing card from top to bottom with UK fighters. I'm loving it.
I know when you spoke to Sky Sports as well, you'd mentioned sort of November possibly being the checking out time. Can you sort of tell us a bit behind that decision?
Yep, you know, the way I explain this is, I said whenever it was coming to the times of our contracts, and if UFC didn't offer me a contract, I wouldn't fight for anybody else other than the UFC, because I don't see the reason for taking anything rather than the best. I don't see taking damage for anything rather than the best. Now, when it comes to 35 in November and I'm 35, if I'm in the mix and I'm able to hang with these guys, then it's a very tough decision for me to leave at that age. But if I'm 35 and I'm not pulling my weight, then I can easily walk away from this sport. So it's all dependent when I get to 35, what my sort of situation's like. I'm not going to take damage from nobody for the purposes of collecting a few coins in my pocket. That's not what I'm into. I'm into developing myself, being a title contender, and if that's not happening, fighting's not for me. That's the way I look at it.
If we look at the fight itself then, Krylov, there's enough footage out there on him certainly.
Yep.
What sort of fight are you expecting from him?
This is going to be a fan's favourite one. Like, if this isn't on the main event, not opening up the main event, then it's going to be high in the prelim card. I know it's a stacked card, and we've got Paddy Pimblett, UK debut, we've got like a stacked card. So I'm excited to see where this is going to be, but the fans are going to love it. The fans are going to see two experienced guys. Krylov's well-rounded, good striker, very karate, unorthodox striking style where he flings loads of wee teeps, loads of kicks, all this kind of stuff. And he's a very good grappler against me, who's a bit bull rushy, a bit of a makes fights dirty, and I'm good at grappling. So this is going to be a fan favourite fight. I'm always involved in these fights. I'm always involved in the fights where it can go any way. Like, I'm going out in my shield. When you watch a Paul Craig fight, you're getting blood, sweat, tears, the full lot coming with me, and that's why I love fighting.
Finally then, Paul, can I get a prediction off you for how you see the fight going?
Yep, you know, everybody wants to get the knockout. That's where the money is. That's where the bank is made. So a knockout would be lovely. But I see this going first round submission via myself. You know, we train hard, as I said, down here, training with Phil DeFries, who's a heavyweight world champion. And if I'm holding on with him, then Krylov's got nothing to deal with. Krylov's not going to be able to touch me in the grappling department and the striking department, so it's going to be an exciting fight to watch.
And I'm sure you wouldn't mind another performance of the night. Bonus, you've had enough of them recently.
They definitely line the pockets, and they definitely keep the partner happy, you know what I'm saying?
Perfect, Paul.
Thanks very much. Pleasure.